Jeff, after you guys got a couple wins, how have you guys have you seen your guys kind of respond just over the weekend, getting some time to look back at your first few games?
Well, we actually had the weekend off. The NCAA requires, you know, a day off each week. And so with the way our schedule lined up, Saturday was for last week. And then with the games this week, Wednesday night, and then Saturday, we went on and took Sunday off. So we didn't have to take off, Thursday or Friday ahead of the Saturday game. So we had practice today. It was good energy. It was good. It was good.
In the last game, you got a lot of minutes, a lot of times for guys that hadn't played as much, got different looks. And I know you seemed pretty encouraged after the game as you went back and watched it and kind of evaluated. Did you still feel good about what you saw out of those guys who maybe got more minutes than they had been getting?
I felt great about it. Like I thought Noah Collier was outstanding, as good as I thought he was in real time, which is why he played basically the whole second half. When I went back and watched it on tape, it stood out even more. It jumped off the screen. His energy, he played with force, all the things that we had talked about with him, he was able to execute it at a very, very high level. He was probably the only one that played more minutes. I mean, JB just got back. He played 25 in the first one. Will and Nate have basically been playing the whole game, every game. Dan has played a lot the past few games. So Noah was the guy that kind of stood out and was really, really pleased with him and his effort.
Jeff, what is it about Nate, it being a freshman, that allows him to not be overwhelmed by the situation?
Well, I think he has been overwhelmed at times, but I think he's grown from those experiences. He's been thrust into this position that I'm not saying he wasn't ready for, but it's different than what we thought it would be, and maybe even he thought it was going to be. We knew he would play, but playing the amount of minutes, starting, it's different from the role that I think that we thought that he would have. But for him, he's done a really good job, and I think he's gotten better and better each game. His stuff jumped off the screen too from that game, just from the standpoint, I thought it was the best defensive game that he's played. And I thought it was the best job that he's done with being physical. And what I mean by that is, like, he smashed down on blockouts, in that game, something that we've really been on him about that he really hadn't done in the first three games. He did a really good job of smashing down on bigger guys and getting down there and rebounding the basketball, putting his body on people and blocking out. And so, again, the thing you want to see is just progress. And I think he's done a really nice job each game of getting a little bit better.
Jeff, back to Noah. You saw him go like you said. He saw 21 minutes in the last game. He saw, 11 minutes combined in the two games prior. Was his play and his performance something that might lend itself to maybe include him a lot more in different lineups that you projected early on this season, or was this sort of the plan all along?
Well, we thought that he would be a significant, contributor for us. He played really well in the preseason and in practices and things like that. And then once we kind of got to the games, he hadn't played as well. And he and I had a talk and just getting back to everything that you were doing earlier. You were playing with force. You defended the ball screen. You played with great energy. You played through contact. You finished through contact. You played above the rim. You defended before the guy got the basketball. And you were able to make a free throw. And those are all the things that he did in that game. Now, we never said, I didn't say anything about running the play form or doing any of these things, or really scoring. Noah's a guy that like, we need his energy. We need his athleticism. And he did that at a very, very high level. And so what we talked about the other day with him was that yesterday I talked to him about that's the standard. Like, you've shown that this is what it looks like, and this is what you were doing earlier, and this is what's required all the time.
Jeff, I know it's not apples to apples. You have Burton this time, but how different is the feel facing a Power 5 team than you were a week and a half ago when you faced West Virginia?
Well, it's better because we have another ball handler. We have a guy that, we could give Femi a break if we needed to, which we did the other day. It gives us, a guy that's mature, that's played in big moments, played in big games. So, he won't be afraid, or don't think he would be afraid or overwhelmed by the moment. The fact that it's at home certainly is a little bit different. The fact that we do have the West Virginia experience, that's helpful also for that. I mean, as tough as it was to lose, it was a great learning experience for us. And it's a long year. And again, we're still trying to figure our team out, but I like the steps that we've made over the past week and a half.
Jeff, with Noah, I don't know how much center that he played before he got here, but like how much of an adjustment last year was it for him being a freshman, still physically developing a little bit, having to play against players who are older, bigger, and what signs of growth have you seen in him from the end of last season to now?
Yeah, I think it was unbelievably difficult for all of the freshmen last year, everywhere. But I can't speak for everyone. I'm speaking for us. Like, the things that you normally do and go through to prepare for a season, we just couldn't do last year. We weren't allowed to do them. And I thought it hurt all of those guys, progression as basketball players, their bodies. That was a big thing with Noah. And I think that's something that he really tried to concentrate on this offseason. And he got stronger. He put on weight. But also, I think the game slowed down for him a little bit. And I thought he did a really, really good job in the offseason of using those experiences to get prepared. But last year, playing against older guys, playing against bigger guys, he did not play much center at Westtown. He didn't have to. He had two really good big guys there. And so making that adjustment. Now, I do think by the end of the year, I think he did some really good things for us. As he got stronger, I think he, rebounded the ball well. I think he defended the position well. But just being able to finish and play through contact was something that strength has really helped him with.
Coach, what do you know about Vanderbilt going in? I know you probably know Coach Stackhouse fairly well. So what do you know about going into this game with Scottie Pippen Jr. and the rest of that team?
Yeah, well, they're playing well. They have the SEC preseason SEC Player of the Year, and he's not even their leading scorer right now. They play really hard. They're very athletic. They're forcing about 20 turnovers a game, 19.8 to be exact. They shoot 26 threes a game. Pippen's a guy that can control the tempo of the game. He's a really good player. This is probably my first time really watching him, over this weekend in preparation, and his pace, his feel is really good. His ability to read and pick up things as the game is going on and to process things has been really good. I've been impressed with, again, how hard they play, the athleticism. They have good quality depth. They're a good basketball team, and it'll be a great challenge for us.
Jeff, what would it be like to look down the court and see Stackhouse there? Is it odd? I mean, do memories flood to your head? Yeah,
well, I'm glad he's not playing. That's the first thing. I'm glad I'm not looking down, when he's in a different jersey than I'm in, back like we were in high school and before we linked up and played AAU together. And then certainly the 2 years we competed against each other in college. Stack and I go way back, to about ninth grade. Good friend, really good guy, obviously was a great player. And I think he's done a really good job in the coaching profession. He's a guy I thought that was labeled because he was a really good player. And, the thing I respect about him is that, he showed how serious he was about wanting to coach. He went and started an AAU program, and not just started it, he coached, and he coached really hard. You know, he coached an Adidas team, a traveling team, and did a heck of a job with those guys. He went to the G League and he coached, and he won a championship. And, you know, to have the opportunity to get a head job in college at Vanderbilt. And so I think it shows how serious he is about his craft. I remember when I did USA basketball with the national team, like he would come out and watch us practice. And the thing that I would be, you know, kind of marvel at, he would come out there and here you have this great player, this former NBA All-Star and one of the top shooting guards in the NBA during his time, showing how serious it was about, he'd be out there with a notebook, you know, taking notes of what he saw and studying. And so it shows how serious he was about wanting to do this. It wasn't, hey, I'm this NBA player and I should just get these opportunities. No, I'm going to go and I'm a coach AAU. I'm going to learn. I'm going to go study overseas teams and how they coach. I'm going to go out to USA basketball and watch and take notes. And so it's pretty cool to see him down there and to see what he's doing. I think if you asked both of us back when we were in 9th, 10th grade, if we were coach, I think both of us would have told you that you were out of your mind to even ask that question.
It was something, you know, since it was something we talked about on Friday night, as far as John, the last 3 days, how has he responded to kind of not playing too much in the second half there? Have you had conversations with him? What's been his response?
It's been great. I think he's happy that, we was happy that we won. What we've tried to talk about is that we need to be about Pitt. It's not about one person. It's about us. And one of his classmates who hadn't played as much, Noah Collier, played as good a game as he's played since he's been here. And I think John was excited about that and happy for him. And that's what it should be about. It's not about sulking and putting your head down. It's, look, I got to be better. I got to play better. And so he's been good.
Jeff, just to be clear, you and Stackhouse went to the same high school?
No, we played AAU together.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Nate, with you being a freshman, I was curious how much more, I mean, it's only been 4 games too, but I mean, how much more comfort and confidence do you have compared to where you were going into your first college game?
I would say I'm definitely in a way better place of comfortability. My teammates, my coaches have been great and helping me out and stuff like that. So I'm definitely way more comfortable in the first game.
Nate, when you're going into practice, who do you interact with the most? Who pushes you the most as you're going through day to day, just, you know, working on different parts of your game?
I would say, you know, a lot of guys on the team do. The older guys, you know, I know JB pushes me a lot. Femi definitely pushes me a lot. Coaching staff does. So everybody really is great help.
Nate, what do you think the one thing you need to work on you're going forward here?
I think I need to get more comfortable with my dribble out there. I think just getting better on team rotations and defense and stuff like that. And just continuing to get better and more comfortable out there.
Nate, you know, start of the season was crazy for you guys. You know, JB gets hurt, Nike gets hurt, Ithiel, you know, has his situation, and that puts a real strain on the backcourt. How much of a challenge was that for you to adjust to maybe say, like, you know, taking on a couple extra roles, or maybe, you know, working within a team that you just lost 3 players that you guys thought were going to be huge, and you're a freshman on the team?
Yeah, it's definitely been crazy. It's not what I would have imagined, you know, my freshman year, my first couple games to be. But everybody's been a great help with, you know, trying to get me adjusted and stuff like that. So I've just trying to work hard in practice and, you know, just get better every day. So
Nate, what's it been like being the only freshman on this team? How have you kind of tried to, you know, who's been kind of the have you built, you know, relationships with the other transfers, you know, who are older but still the only other new guys on this team?
Yeah, it's definitely a little bit weird being the only freshman, but everybody's just been welcoming on the whole team, stuff like that. Older guys been helping me out. New guys, you know, they're still new. They're figuring everything out. So just everybody's been a great help.
Nate, what
Hey,
are
you,
practices? Go ahead, Kelly.
Go ahead, Jeff.
Nate, what are practices like? How much do you get pushed? And are you someone that likes to have those type of battles in practice?
Yeah, I would. When practices are competitive and they're physical, that's when you get better. So when we're fighting with each other, like fighting, battling in practice, that's when we get better. So those practices definitely help a lot.
Now, you've had a pretty
go
good
ahead, Jerry.
workload here. Yeah, thank you. You've had a pretty good workload here. You played a lot of minutes the other night. How you handled it all?
I've been trying to rest, keep my body right and stuff like that. So that's just trying to stay ready and stuff like that.
Nate, what's been the biggest transition for you from high school to coming into Division I play?
I would just say, the level of competition, the speed of the game, physicality. I've played basketball, for my whole life, but just the different level is an adjustment a little bit. So just trying to get used to that and speed and the physicality and stuff like that.
You don't seem to hesitate though when you're standing behind that 3-point line. Is that home to you?
Yeah, it is.
I think in the first 3 games, you were like 2 of 9 from 3. Maybe you didn't even try one in the Wilmington game. Once a couple of those started going down in this last game, did it feel like it kind of opened up for you a little bit? Did you feel yourself kind of settling in, and did that impact kind of even the rest of your game, as you played throughout the night?
Yeah, it was definitely a big weight off my shoulders to see that ball go through the net. So I'm definitely way more comfortable being out there and letting it fly.
Is that weight on your shoulders a little bit heavier, knowing again with the guys that you guys have lost, you guys don't have, perimeter shooting as a premier thing? It seems, is that weight get heavier knowing that, hey, I need to do this because, not too many guys specialize in this on the team?
I mean, a little bit, but I've been trying to lean on my teammates and stuff like that for help. So I don't have to carry that all by myself. So I try to look to my teammates, my coaches, and stuff like that to help even that weight and stuff like that. So
Nate, coming off 2 big wins in a row for you guys, what's the feeling like in the locker room right now? And how is the team chemistry as a part of your first year at Pitt?
It's great. The guys are happy. We want to continue to win. We want to continue to compete. So everybody's really together and just focus on and getting more wins.
Nate, is there talk?
Go ahead, John.
Go ahead, Kelly.
I was just going to ask, like, how's college life? I mean, you're only a couple months into your college life here, away from home and at Pitt, and I just want to know how you're doing. It's
pretty good. Being away from home isn't anything new to me because I was at boarding school for 3 years. So, it's cool being at Pitt, being in Pittsburgh. It's a nice city. So, being in a new environment and exploring and stuff like that, it's pretty cool.
Nate, is there any talk amongst the team or maybe you with friends that you're going to be going up against Scottie Pippen's kid on Wednesday?
Yeah, I mean, I've heard a couple of my friends, but, I think, as a team that we're just focusing on, playing our game and getting stops and, trying to get another win.
I feel like I'm going to probably date myself here a bit, Nate, but do you remember Jerry Stackhouse much as a player?
I do not know.
That breaks my heart. Not breaks my heart, just makes me feel old. But are you, switching?
His parents do, Craig. His parents do.
That doesn't make me feel much better. But Nate, I'm curious, what sort of among the guys in the locker room going from 0-2 and now winning 2 straight, like what, if anything, has that done for you guys? Like, does there seem to be a little bit more energy and confidence to this group? Or were you all not even down that much after losing the first 2?
Yeah, it definitely does add more energy and confidence. I mean, even after the first 2 games, we still had positive energy and confidence that we can still get back from that. So it's only the 2 wins in a row have only helped, but we still always believed in us. So.
Nate, you had one year. Nate, you had 1 year that was canceled in high school because of COVID, and then you had the ACL injury too. How has it been, getting back to, every day playing basketball and kind of getting your conditioning and getting used to all of that, kind of getting back in the mix with that?
It's great. It feels like, things are back to normal because, I've had, things have been kind of crazy in the past, but, it's been great just to play basketball and get out there.